All right, you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Heather.
Dwayne.
I'm Richard.
Yeah, and they're subscribers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
they have a story to tell out here.
Yeah, they contacted us and they basically had said that something kind of very unique happened. I want to say about maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there is what you said.
Yeah.
And we were trying to find the time to coordinate to get out here. And, you know, Mark and I, and, you know, we're always kind of in the swamp as much as we can. Not always at night, you know, but we bumped into them because they were coming back. They were coming back. So if y'all want to share your account, you know, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So walk us
Tell
through.
it,
Well,
Dwayne.
what happened? Tell us.
Well, we were out here one night and shining around these little ponds, and he walked off in the distance, and I walked back to the truck to sit with her, and he come walking back, and we were just messing around, and I went whoop real low, and she made a little howl real low. He walked up to the truck and went and it wasn't long after that there was 3 howls over here, and they were long, smooth howls. It was like he took a deep breath to get another howl, took a deep breath and get another howl, and then we didn't hear nothing else the rest of the night.
And those were 3, right?
Mhm.
3
Yeah,
howls.
3.
And you didn't
And
hear
from-
coyotes or anything else was going
No, we
on?
didn't hear
No.
anything.
And from
Right.
that direction, how far do you think it came? How far?
75 yards maybe.
I'll put
It
it.
was
I think
close.
it was closer.
It was right at that bay head. Like I'm gonna say 50, but it was right there.
I mean,
sounded
it was
like.
close.
Mm-hmm.
And your
It was
testimony
loud.
was, I can't remember his name.
Dwayne.
Dwayne, your testimony was you've heard coyotes, you've heard, just go through that litany
I
again.
mean, I've heard
you know.
coyotes howl, I've heard panthers scream, I've heard hogs raising Cain, I've heard deers make all their noises. I mean, I've heard owls screech, and I mean, this is something I've never. I've heard dogs and all their different vocalizations. This is, you know, something I've never heard before.
Yeah, no, I found that really interesting, you know, that somebody experienced, knows the sounds.
Yeah. And so that was on that one night, right?
Yes.
Right.
And
Right.
what about what time was it?
It was probably
12:30.
about 12:30.
12:30 at night.
The moon was just coming up. It was getting where it was shining kind of bright.
So do you feel maybe you probably instigated something? Do you feel like whatever it was you were doing maybe caused it?
I mean, I
or-
guess like you said, we just pretty much came in here. He's right there. Maybe we invaded his space.
Yeah.
And here we are,
And he let
right
us know
there.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't like us.
And this is the same area from last week, Chris, that you saw, you had the footprints in the break that we filmed. So this is the same area, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we've been out here several times after that first incident, and we've heard howls off in the distance. And you know, we've heard wood knocks.
On other occasions,
On
is
other
what you're
occasions,
saying.
yeah.
And okay, so let me ask you this: when you heard the wood knocks, how did the knocks? Where did you hear the knocks from? Like what? In other words, like if you had 12 o'clock, how were they?
We're standing like here right now.
Yeah.
I guess this would be 12 o'clock. I guess it would be like 1 o'clock.
All right.
But it was off in the distance.
Uh huh.
And then probably say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, somewhere around over here, we've heard wood knocks back here.
Uh huh. So definitely evenly kind of staggered, spaced and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the one night that, you know, we heard the howls off in the distance, they were like 1 o'clock. They were probably about 3, 4 o'clock. And then they were back over here about 8 o'clock.
Uh huh.
That's when I howled.
That's when she
When
howled.
I howled.
Yeah.
It wasn't long after that she got her 3 responses.
So do that again. This way, this direction.
Yeah, about 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Somewhere over here.
Opposite direction.
Opposite direction, then over this direction.
Uh huh.
Imagine that, Chris.
Yeah. Boom, boom, and over
Boom.
there also. It's like you're being watched from all different kind of angles. So how'd you feel when you was hearing all that? Like very intrigued,
Well,
very spooked, or was it intriguing? Or?
Scared, but curious at the
Well,
same
the
time.
first night was unnerving. Because, I mean, I've never heard nothing howl like that before.
And it was closed.
But
It was close.
glutton for punishment, we keep coming back out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's, you know,
It's a hit and miss a lot of times. But, you know, once you finally live through it, a little bit of an experience that it's just difficult for you to kind of relate to or explain or rationalize. You see what I'm saying? That is what I always think. That's what is the interesting, the cool things of, you know, what we call Bigfooting. What was it you heard? You know, and you know, I would like to tell you that, you know, more than likely heard of Bigfoot. I would love to tell you that, but I don't
there's
know.
the mystery.
You know, there is the mystery part of it, and there are some. We can say this: there are some patterns to people's accounts and our own personal experiences. And when you start seeing these patterns, then you're like, okay, that's just not typical, you know, canine or dog or whatever the case may be. There's something to it, because what I'm saying to you is it's like strategy.
Right.
There's some type of strategy or a tactic going on, and what you're describing is like a tactic. Something over here, something over here. Because dogs, I don't know, dogs hunt in packs. You know, they don't knock on trees.
They'll bark or
The night the howls over here, and over here, I made a joke to him. I said, "Holy crap, we're surrounded."
Yeah, you're gonna get it. Yeah, yeah. When you start getting that surrounded feeling, yeah,
we know that feeling, don't we, Chris?
That is I call that suspect activity. When you start getting that surrounded.
Then we was out here one night, and I mean, it was just quiet. You didn't hear nothing, but you had the feeling like you were being watched.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't even crickets chirping that night. It was dead quiet out here.
Would you get out at that moment? Would you get out of the truck and walk by yourself?
I'm gonna say
no. No.
When you get like that to where you want to even step foot out of the truck, that's when you really seriously know you are being watched. When you won't even step foot outside that truck. You know, in other words, you feel like I got to put a barrier up right now between whatever that is out there and me. And that's you know, it's like we say, a lot of times we say, well, we know when there's nothing going on. A lot of times it's feeling. And I hear this a lot of times from viewers that are like, oh, these two guys are just so touchy-feely and everything. But I tell people, you know, I just say, well, that's because you don't have any experience doing it. Once you start getting experience do it, you know your body tells you things. Other than your ears,
right.
Your senses.
You get the feeling that you're being watched.
Yes.
And it's just a weird feeling.
That's an age-old sense that we're, you know, call it instinct, if you want, whatever you want to call it. We're like born with that. It's just part of how we are. We know, the body knows when it's not right. We know that.
And if you get that feeling, you are being
like
watched.
Orange Lake.
Yeah.
A lot of times your gut's not telling you something wrong. Your gut's telling you something true.
You said you've run around in Green Swamp, you know where Orange Lake is?
Yeah, well, we've been out in that area. I kind of think it's kind of basically an extension of the river, right? Kind of an overfill
area.
area.
Back to the river.
We've been all in that area
I've been back
before.
there, and I've had a feeling that I've been being watched. I mean, it's an eerie feeling.
It's
I
weird
mean, you
back
hear
there.
You hear little Tweety birds chirping and stuff,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, just a hush comes over the woods. You just get that eerie feeling you're being watched.
And it's like everything's just still.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I don't know if a bug flew in my throat earlier, but I think I'm okay now.
Oh, sorry.
You can.
that's an owl. Got your one spray.
Go north.
Yeah, and that was southwest.
And if you keep looking to find
He's talking about his own.
Yeah.
That's North Star right
And we're recording.
there. See, 'cause if I pull out
He'll
my
cut
phone,
it out.
what's going on with it. But
We got
if
it
y'all
right
ever
about
go
it
off
now.
trail,
'Cause he is real.
if y'all ever go off or anything like that, make sure you have a compass with you.
I'd like to get a GPS because there's some
At least
times-
carries well. That all right. So I was dying. Something got in my throat. Had to take some water. So we were talking about how the knocks were opposite and stuff like that, and I was saying about that kind of like reveals to me like strategy, tactics, and stuff like that. I kind of think of it like that because dogs kind of just pretty much hunt in a pack, right? Don't they
Right.
pretty much do it like that?
Okay. And okay. Well, I'm just trying to think. I don't think they were stalking us. You know, what are they doing? Communicating, saying, "Hey, I'm over here. They're there."
Could be communicating to themselves, but in the process of communicating to themselves, intimidating you, kind of nudging you to
Leave.
leave, or they're watching your tolerance, seeing how much
They can
you can
push us.
tolerate, how much you can tolerate.
Chris and I felt that we are as much being examined as they are.
Okay, I'll get that.
Yeah, we're like lab rats. We feel
We're
like
the lab
we are the
rats
lab rats
more than they are.
And when you start getting these knocks, they all start surrounding you like that. It's not going to happen often, but when it does happen, it's a jaw-dropping moment. When you start getting surrounded by knocks, and you got nothing but woods around you. I don't know what to call it. That ain't, some people say, "Oh, Chris, that's just trees naturally splitting," and stuff like that. I'm like, no, not what I heard live like that. No, the trees aren't just naturally splitting like that.
There's a distinct difference.
Oh, definitely. So what are y'all gonna do? Since you kind of, you're on to something. You're on.
We're not giving up.
Yeah, you're on to something.
We'd like to know we'd like to see what it was. That's it, really.
Well,
Okay.
I liked your story. Their story was awesome. And
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing the story with us.
Well, don't quit. Don't quit. Just keep coming back. So like
Yeah.
it's like I said. I feel your best chance is going to be in the early days. I think your best chance is going to be in the early days. So bring binoculars and things like that. And just because as you start coming more and more frequent, I think your chances lessen of getting an actual sighting. Because, like I said, I think they just come in closer because they know you're not onto them, and they come in closer. And that's how I feel about it. So every chance, here's my advice to you. Every chance you return, you need to be on your A game and be ready to spot something. Just be ready to spot something when you're coming back. Because every time you keep coming back, I think your chances start decreasing. Because especially...
Now, would it be different during the day than, say,
Nope.
like at nighttime?
I think at nighttime they obviously can
They
come
have
in.
the advantage.
They have the advantage, and they know that, and they come in a lot closer, and they'll probably crawl in and stuff like that. But nighttime is stressful on our bodies. It means you coming in at night, you lose sleep. It's much more stressful at night, and you can do it in broad daylight. Obviously, you can, but you just got to be ready. You just got to be ready for when that tree knock happens or that tree slam happens or whatever case may be. You just got to be ready and be prepared. Because your chances are greatest in the beginning days, I feel, of getting eyes on. That would be my advice to you. But really, before I die, I feel like I've been sprayed with like bug spray.
Possible. You got that thermocell maybe, or?
No, yeah, it's like you're inhaling like thermocell odor. It's like it's in my throat for some reason, or I'm just talking too doggone much, which is what I always do. Beat
Well,
always
thank you
says-
again.
Yeah, it's gun
Okay.
tracks.
Beat says you talk too much.
Thank you again.
Well, you want to say thank you for your account, and just don't give up. Just keep doing it.
We're back.
Obviously, because this is nighttime now.
I'm further away from the truck than I've ever been.
Oh yeah.
So
So what are your questions?
I'm just